guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we are going to be jumping through the armor. So, I hope you guys are ready. So today is going to be all about getting armor. We're going to have to get tons and tons of armor today, and I have all of it listed right here. And I'm going to try my best. Now, one of them is not exactly armor, but it is a part of the armor set. And this is probably one of the hardest items out of this whole group to make. Now, all this armor kind of requires some of the same steps. So like gym armor sort of requires some of the same steps as the Flux Infused stuff. But we'll get into that very, very soon. So what's the first armor we should make? Well, I think the Emerald Attic is probably the easiest. So let's go ahead and get the Atomic Reconstructor. I think I have it in here. That was one of the first machines we actually made. So let's go ahead and grab an Atomic Reconstructor. And we can just give this power. We have no need for it to do anything else. Let's just find a power node. By the way, I did go ahead and automate this so that way we can get Dragon's Breath created. And yeah, it should be ready to go. Let's go ahead and get some Emerald. Throw that in front of this. Let that do its thing. That should convert that into the Emerald Attic stuff. There we go. And yeah, we can break this for right now. We have no need for it just yet. We might use it later, probably in tomorrow's episode, but not today's. So let's go ahead and make this armor. Now this armor is actually just a little bit better than your regular diamond armor. So yeah, it's actually pretty nice. So there we go. So there's that armor set, and that is going to unlock a few things. Now, I did go ahead and unlock pretty much everything that was just a crafting recipe for the upgrades section. These things are super easy to make. You have to do nothing but crafting for any of these. Now, these are a little bit more different, so we'll get into those another day. But I figured I would go ahead and get most of these quests completed, since a lot of them are just, you know, your basic crafting recipe. Also went ahead and got the solar array. I think the other one I need to get are the other solar array, not solar array, but the other environmental tech things, which I believe are in one of these other tabs. Yeah, right here. I just need to upgrade these to tier 6. I have the ability to upgrade them. I just haven't done it yet. It's just crafting. So this guy is at a tier 5, so it's generating all the tier 6 material. So yeah, pretty ridiculous over there. Anyways, we got that armor done. We can throw it away. Actually, let's take a look at our armor that we have. So do we have our diamond armor still? I think we have our diamond armor in here. So one of the things I want to do is take out our, I don't know if it'd even be called armor. We'll go ahead and pull out our diamond armor set, because we did have that. The armor set we have is a pretty decent set. It gives us a lot of health. We also have the Britannia armor set that we have. Let's go ahead and pull that out. We have 2 of the helmets. We don't need that. Alright, so that should be it for that. And these are just some of the armor sets that I want to just place around the base. So here's this one. Of course, we can throw this on. And I went ahead and made these armor stands. Works perfect. Right, so we'll have like our simple vanilla armor over here that we started off with. Actually, we started with iron, I believe. There's that. And we'll get into the crazy armor, which is from Britannia. I love this armor. By far one of my favorites. You can even dye this armor, by the way. There's ways to dye it. I might get into that towards the later episode, showing you how to dye these things. Because it's pretty cool. It's like a pretty cool thing that you can do. And you can also do this in any mod pack that has random things in it. I'll go over that later. Alright, so we have that done. Let's take a look back on our list here. We can kind of remove these. By the way, if you want to add stuff to the side panel, you can just hit A over it while looking up the crafting recipe. Just hit A and you can see that that added packed ice, and hit A to remove it. So here we have Supremium, and then we also have the Flux. The Flux, I think, is going to be the easiest for us to get, because remember, we have been working on Flux. And yeah, we should just be able to take this and, let's see, sand. I don't have it fully automated, but throwing sand in here allows us to make that Electrum. And then over here, we had plates that were being made in this compactor. At least I thought we did. I might need to take these out, throw them in here, get the plates. I think I put them in here. So, yes, I did. Okay, so let's take a look at that Flux Armor. Let's see, it's not called Flux, but we can search Flux. Flux Infused. Right, so Flux Infused helmet. That's just going to require these plates. And we should have everything, I think, to be able to make these. I'll give us 16. We need a few more plates. That'll at least get us some of the things. It'll give us the pants and the boots. And all we need now is the chest piece. And really, we're just waiting on plates. So let's see. We need just a few more. And then we should be golden. Let's take this. I'll take this and put this in my inventory. Now, remember I put this bottle of time last episode? You see how fast this is going right now? If I hit this a couple times, look how fast this goes now. Yeah, the bottle of time is pretty ridiculous. And I absolutely love it. Alright, so 14 is totally enough to make the chest piece. And there we go. There's the Flux Armor. So this stuff is really nice. This is actually a really powerful armor set. We can go ahead and throw that on here. We've completed the quest. And these quests are a big part of this, so keep that in mind. You have to complete all of the quests in order to finish the pack. The completionist tab is one of the things you need to do. So that is something you need to keep in mind. That's why we're working on this. It's something that I have to do. Alright, so with that armor done, we can get rid of it. There is still one piece left also. The Supremium stuff is going to be a little bit difficult to get. Let's talk about that. I need the helmet. There we go. Kind of got out of order. But the Supremium. So, right now we have really no essence. But we need to get to Supremium. And to get to Supremium requires these crystals. So, let's go ahead and get ourselves some Infusion. We don't have enough for Master Infusion. Because apparently the dragon and stuff does not actually drop the crystals we need. So let's go ahead and take this. And we'll get as many of these as possible. And then we'll combine this. We need to get up to that Supremium. Hopefully we have enough. Looks like we need another crystal. So this is through Mystical Agriculture, by the way. There's our crystal. I guess I used all of our crystal. By the way, we can take these blocks, knock them back down, in case we need more. Because yeah, this just come from our mob farm, by the way. So we technically, I guess, have a lot of Inferium, but if not, you can pull out the ore. It is EMCable, so you could just automate the ore processing if you wanted to. Prosperity Shards, that should come from the Prosperity ore. So if we want to just break this, we can get it. There we go. Got another shard, another crystal. So this should take us up to the Supremium. And then Supremium to, or not Supremium. This is Supremium. So there we go. So now we should be able to get the Infusion crystal. So remember, we need a few of these. There we go. And we should be able to make the Master Infusion crystal. This will be so helpful. So now we don't have to worry about anything because the Master Infusion crystal is going to get us through all these processes. Alright, so right now we have no auto crafting. It's not a big deal because you can auto craft this on your own. But we are going to need to get Supremium ingots. And it is going to require a little bit of crafting and understanding how many it's going to take to get there. Because this can become a little crafting rabbit hole, right? So we are going to need enough Supremium for each one of these and vice versa for these charms. It's gonna add up. It's gonna add up. And without the auto crafting stuff, it's gonna be pretty hard. So I think we should probably get ready to set up some auto crafting for our applied energistics. So I should have everything ready to go for the auto crafting. It actually doesn't take too much to get this set up for applied energistics. All we need is a few things. So let's go ahead and get this set up. We're going to do a molecular symbler. Then we're going to go basically replace this with, or take a ME interface, then a molecular symbler. And we're just going to put this in a pattern like so. We're going to need a block in order to place this up one. And we're basically going to repeat this pattern just like you see here. And then run right down the center, we're going to run down an ME cable. The only thing here that uses a channel is the interfaces. So you can have up to 8 interfaces off of this one regular cable. Now, each side of the ME controller produces 32 channels. So technically, you could have multiple assembler setups off of one side. And then from the top side, I'm going to show you how to do something. And we're going to actually make the crafting processor unit that is going to be required for this. So let's go ahead and grab this. We're going to repeat that same process, just like so. And then on the top as well, since we have this block, I probably need a couple more blocks just to help with this process. We can go ahead and line the cable. That's probably going to be the easiest way to do this. Place that there. And then on the side of this, the side of that, each side of these are going to receive one of these bad boys. And it's going to kind of just look like this. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. And then we have one more to go, which is right here. And then the assemblers right here, and then a cable. Awesome. So if these are glowing, you should be good to go. Now, we need to make some anchors. I think we only need one anchor. So right here, we need that nether quartz cutting knife. And then we're going to add that to a material. Doesn't really matter if it's Invar. I don't think it requires Invar. I think that just so happened what was there. And we're going to place that up to that, and that's just going to keep our cables nice and clean as we make our processing unit. So it doesn't really matter how you set this up. I'm going to place mine like this as a tower. There we go. And that is a full processor unit ready to go. So I did go ahead and make a pattern terminal and an ME interface terminal. This should allow us to link up to these interfaces. It doesn't look like it's showing up just yet, but we might need to figure out why. We could probably upgrade to smart cable, but I'm pretty sure this should work just fine with no issues. This should be 8. That's on one side. That's a channel right there. That's ready to go. So this should be able to monitor that unless we are hitting a cap here. Let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, I think we need some cable anchors here as well. We have enough. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's put a cable anchor on this side. And we'll put a cable anchor on this side. Then we can hook our system up. Like that. Like that. And then hook our cable in. And now it doesn't touch our machines here. And we probably need to do the same. This is hooked to that one side. Man, we probably need a cable anchor right in the center here. There we go. We'll run a cable anchor on this side and the other side. This is a little messy, but it'll get the job done, and that's all we really need to do, is just get the job done here. So, there we go, and then we'll just hook into the sides of this. That should fix any channel issues that we may have been having. Then we can put our screens back on. Now we can see our assemblers. Now we're ready to go. Much better. Okay, so we need to make patterns. Good old-fashioned blank patterns. And good thing, blank patterns are EMCable. So that makes life a lot easier, and then we can go ahead and actually store those in there. And that'll give us the ability to auto-craft. So, fair warning. Auto-crafting does not work with the compressed refined EMC links. I think that'll probably be fixed in the next update. But as of right now, that is definitely a bug. Because I went to do the auto-crafting, so we might be skipping Supremium for right now. Because unfortunately, it just freezes. And it doesn't even give you a crash report, unfortunately. So yeah, this auto-crafting, which is how you would do your basic auto-crafting of things, we will not be able to do today. So, no big deal, no big deal. We can totally move on to other tasks, like maybe getting that Flux Infused jet plate, which is something that we can work on. Now, that is going to take a little bit. So, if we take a look at the Flux Infused Jetpack, we notice that it's not the easiest thing in the world to make, right? It's going to require cryothium coolant units, which is, yes, gelid cryothium inside of these units, which requires either hardened lumium. Well, I guess this one requires any of the fused quartz. We can even use fused, I guess. But this one requires just any type to make this cryothium cooling unit. So technically we should be able to make this. So let's take a look. We need to make these, the base units. So what do we need? 2 of them for right now. But the Fluxed Thrusters, these require glowstone versions. And this actually requires specifically hardened signalium glass, which is going to require signalium blend. So now we do have signalium, and all we got to do is kind of crush that down in order to get what we want. So I'm going to let that pulverize down. That'll give us our signalium blend back. There we go. And that will allow us to actually make what we need for this, this specific tasks. So let's go ahead and make this. There we go, hardened glass. Now, this, like I said, is a very specific thing. So this is one of those things we need to tie in and just recreate. There we go. And that should allow us to make the ones for the thrusters. Now, we do have this jetpack, the Resonant Jetpack. The Resonant Jetpack, I believe, is something you can't buy. You're going to have to go through the process, or I'm going to have to go through the process of making the Resonant Jetpack. And then everything else should be fine. We already have the Flux Infused jet plate, or chest plate. And then we actually need to make the Resonant Flux Pack. All of which requires just a lot of crafting, basically. But the hardest thing, I think, to get is going to be just these guys. And kind of explaining that this actually requires a specific type of glass. And we're going to need 4 of these. Now, these require glowstone to fill up. And this requires cryothium. Which we're going to have to put inside a fluid transposer. So basically, these guys need to be wiped out. We're not going to use the redstone in them anymore. So there we go. We should be able to pull that out and then supply it with something else. Same with this. We supply it with glowstone. And our setup should work exactly the same. We just need to break these blocks basically and replace them. And then that should work just fine. I want to replace the ones that I have because they're already configured for the proper space. There we go. Do the same for this side. That will wipe out the contents. And that should get started by pulling that in. Perfect. Should be auto input enabled. Make sure auto input is enabled. Same on this. Awesome. And on this one, remember we got to put these in. On this side, we need to put these bad boys in. This is going to require, I think, 4,000 4 millibuckets. 4 buckets worth. Sorry, not 4 millibuckets. 4,000 millibuckets, I guess, in that case, in order to fill just one. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but look at that. We already have the cryothium coolant ones. Those are super simple. So I'm going to spend some time, go ahead and make this jetpack. Like I said, it just requires a whole bunch of just crafting steps in order to get to this point, which shouldn't be too difficult to do. So pretty much all the craft is done. All I need now is the chest piece right here in the center. And this bad boy is already ready to go. Look at that. Flux Infused Jetpack. Whew, that is a hard recipe, not because of the crafts required, just the sheer amount of crafts that you have to do in order to make it. Wow. That requires a lot. I wonder, does that consume the power? There's 50... Oh, I guess we won't be able to tell, would we? I wouldn't know. But anyways... Now we have a noisemaker. Because when it's on the stand, it just constantly runs. Anyways. We have a lot of quests to complete. Wow. Okay, so we got a drill. Okay, we got some Enderlily seeds. And we got tons and tons of completed rewards. Pushing us back up to near 500,000. Wow. Okay. So yeah, unfortunately, our autocraft is kind of, in the... pushing us to stuff I don't want to do, but today we can move now into Draconic, because Draconic is what our next set is going to be. Gym armor is going to be very similar to this, because if we take a look at the boots for the gym armor, it requires these Wyvern Thrusters and the Fluxed Thrusters. And we already have all the stuff ready to go for the Fluxed Thrusters, so that's not going to be too difficult. But once we get one Ridney Gale, we should be good. We can actually do that, or either buy the Rindigels. For 50. I guess it'd probably be cheaper to buy them at this point with as much money as we have at the point. So we can get that off the list, and I want to take the Supremium off right now because we'll have to worry about that later. But the Draconic stuff, it actually shouldn't be too hard to make or get into Draconic Evolution. We do have Draconic Evolution ore, and that is courtesy of this bad boy. So even with a little bit of Draconium, right? So we have the Draconium ore. Let's go ahead and break this. That should get us Draconium dust. And Draconium dust is actually EMC-able. How nice is that? And then we go ahead and get ourselves the ingots. And the ingots are also EMC-able. You can't beat that, right? So we can go ahead and pull some of that out and this out. And we need to mark it over here inside of our system. And there we go. That should hold that storage. And getting into Draconic is going to be pretty simple at this point. Now that we have all of those things made and ready to go, setting up Draconic Cores now, on the other hand, it's probably just a matter of just making as many as we can make for right now. Since our auto-crafting just doesn't work with our system, it's probably best that we just make a bunch, right? That's probably going to be the best option. I mean, it's not like, our resources that we use to make these are unlimited at this point. With our EMC, like, people are saying, the EMC is going down, but really, that's a really large number that I don't think we'll ever have to worry about. So, with that, we should be able to get into Infusion crafting. So, yeah, we're going to need 9 of these injectors, at least for right now, to get into early game Infusion, and a Fusion crafting core. And that's all we need. And we got to upgrade the cores here, and be able to start ourselves on some Infusion. And I guess we can do it right here. I don't see why not. Right next to our chickens being completely and utterly destroyed. Alright, so right here, and then, of course, this takes a couple blocks away. We can do 1 block away for right now. It doesn't really matter. But that's all we need. And this is where that configurator really comes in handy. You know what? This is actually going to go away. I cannot have you just making that sound. Oh my, that would get so annoying. Alright, let's throw this in our system. Let's set our configurator up. Main. And we'll get rid of the limit. That should be perfectly fine. And we get some points. Slap those onto the back of this. These are points, right? Yes. And we just whack these bad boys. And now they're all configured. And we should be able to automatically start working on upgrading these things. We need Draconian blocks, all of which are pretty easy to obtain. We do this, bam, Draconian blocks, right? And then we need Draconic Cores, which all of these are EMC-able. Cores, and more cores, right? So cores, and cores is going to be used, and diamonds. And we can set this up with a clock and pretty much make this thing automatic. Take 2 hoppers, and there we go. We should be perfectly fine for this. So an easy way to get this automated is just by doing this. And then down below, or on the side here, we can put a clock that will set and start automatically working on this. Now, another good thing we need to do is clear this out. Remember, it was 4 diamonds. So, bam, 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 and there. And then we needed, let's see. We needed 2 Draconic Cores, or 2 Draconic, 1 Wyvern, and 1 block. So block, split those up just like that. And all we got to do now is just move this around, and we should be left with 1. And we should be able to upgrade at least 1, because these are not EMC-able once you go past this point. So we just throw this up top here. And that will automatically kick this off, and we'll start the Infusion. So yeah, you gotta love this Draconic stuff. And if you want to put the time in the bottle, say you're doing a bunch of crafts, you can do the time of the bottle on each one of these to help speed it up. on there, and that will actually help speed that up. If you have the acceleration one, you can speed this crafting up immediately. But for right now, this is going to be good enough, right? So there we go. And that'll automatically go in the hopper, and there's another Wyvern Core. And what I do, place it down, move this over, break the next one, till I get them all upgraded. That's basically all you gotta do. So now that I got all of the Wyvern fusion injectors ready to go, the only thing we really need to do is take a Dragon Heart and really upgrade this thing. So we should have some Dragon Hearts, at least I thought we did. Yes, we do. Dragon Hearts. Okay. So really we only need one to do this first craft. But what we need is Awakened Draconium. And Awakened Draconium is very simple. You need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these Draconic cores with some blocks of Draconium and a Dragon Heart. So we only need to do this craft once, like I said. So block of Draconium. Technically we need 4, right? 4 blocks of Draconium. And then we're going to need the cores. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these are going to be separated. Now, this does require a bit of power, though. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and throw this here. Here, and we'll split that up again. And we'll put the heart in there. Bam. And then all we have to do now is throw this in and let that start. And it's going to take a little bit of time because we don't have like a central storage of power. But I mean, we are producing quite a lot of power that's going directly into here. And all I got to do really is just expand on this. And then we can have way more power. But you can see it's going to be charging fairly slow. That's okay. Like I said, it's not going to take too long for this to charge. And while I'm doing that, I'm probably going to go ahead and just add a few more of the petrified fuel generators over here. And put some plugs on those bad boys and get them started. That way we can just have a nice start of early game power. Of course, we have power over here as well, but we need a lot more. So at this point, I really just need to make a bunch of Awakened Cores. We're going to need a lot of them, so I'm going to batch craft them and craft probably a stack of them as of right now. I can, of course, craft more later on, but this shouldn't be too difficult. We need Wyvern Cores, which we can pull out of here. So we'll pull out some Wyvern Cores, and like I said, to do this, we're going to need 4. So we need 4 stacks of that. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks of Awakened. 5 stacks of Awakened, right? And last but not least, Nether Stars. Stack of Nether Stars. So all of this should work as planned. Now, these don't have to go in any particular order. I'm just placing them in as I feel. And last but not least, yeah, we just kind of throw them in. And this should, if we, I guess we can do this. We can let this do its thing, and you see, yeah, we speed this thing up. It's kind of ridiculous with the bottle. I mean, at the rate that this is going, let's back up for a minute. You can see that this is going to be pretty ridiculous. And getting that armor is not going to take us very long at all. So that was pretty quick with all of that going on. Awakened Cores are actually going to be very useful for us. They are a crafting recipe for the molecular machinery, or modular machinery, sorry. And this modular machinery right here is, yeah, a part of the TARDIS that we're going to have to make. So you can see we need to make firewater cells, circuit boards, all this fun stuff. But right now, like I said, we're really just focused on making our armor. So getting the armor from Draconic is going to require the Awakened, a Draconic energy core, which means we need to take the cores, right? I need one of these, and then I'm also going to need another type of core. Let's go ahead and make one of these, and we'll make one of these. Of course, I need Awakened. Use the blocks and that. And I'm just going to add all of this to our system. And add this to our system here. And that should make it a little bit easier for us to craft now. So let's go ahead and make one of those. And you can see we can actually pull these out. Perfect. So now that we have everything, making the armor is going to be really, really simple. Awakened Cores, the Draconic Energy, and 4 of those is what's going to be required for each piece of the armor. So, Awakened, we really just need a stack of that. We can split the stack. Place that in here, here, and one of those there. And there. And then all we got to do is just throw the armor in, just like so. And what does it say? Oh, the tier is too low. Okay, so that's right. We need to upgrade these first. I almost forgot about that. Wow, look at me forgetting about things. We do need to upgrade these to the next tier. Right now they are on Wyvern. We need to upgrade this. Man, all of this in one episode. So this is going to require Wyvern Cores, Diamond, Block. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to get a stack of each one of these, do the upgrade process, and I'll be back. So last but not least, all should be ready to go. Now we can throw our armor in and get these guys upgraded. This is almost laughable. I love how fast this can go with the max upgraded time in the bottle. Wow. Okay. So, I believe that this is the best armor. And the reason I say that is because it's based off the power buffer. So if you have enough power in your system and you have enough that's transferring. So let's go down here and let's see. This should be like unlimited at this point. Let's make sure this is ticked off here and make sure this is turned on. If that's the case and we're producing enough power, I shouldn't be able to die, right? I think the maximum is 100,000 RF a tick. If you're producing at least that, there should be, I literally should not die. So let's just throw all of this stuff in here. Looks like we're full. So I'll grab a chest. Go ahead and place a chest down. I just want to go down to the void and like show you that I should not die from void damage. I think void is negative 64. I think is the void line. I believe. Negative 64 should start giving us void damage. So there's our void damage, right? And unfortunately it's going to be very loud. But you can see, I mean, you can take a lot of void damage and you're probably not going to die. Once your entropy and everything drops down and your shield and everything drops down, you're probably not going to run into any issues like that. So I'd say this armor is absolutely phenomenal. And at this point, we no longer need grid power to run this armor. This armor is just the OP set. It's just super overpowered, which is exactly what most in-game armor should be. And you also look pretty snazzy as well. I might just keep the wings just for the looks. But no, this armor is really great. And if you want to just look like Goku, you can just strip and just leave your legs there. Then you can walk around like Goku in your nice orange pants. Very nice. Now, unlike the other armors, you cannot dye this one. Like, it doesn't change if you dye it with a dyeing machine. So that's unfortunate, because I wish I could use that. There's a dyeing machine in here that you can change the color of things. And I did mention that I wanted to show that to you. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. It's from Random Things called a dyeing machine. We should have everything for it, I think. We totally should. If not, looks like I am going to be making it. So EMC tablet. We need red. And I think we have the other colors. Crafting table. Black. Wool. Alright, and that should be it. There we go. There's a dyeing machine. So yeah, our Britannia armor, that is something that you can actually dye. So if I pull this off, I want to show you that if we want to dye this red, it actually shows up on our armor piece. So I found that dyeing this armor blue looks really good. And yes, you can literally dye every single piece any dye color. This machine is awesome. If it's in item form, you can dye it. No joke, it's dyeable. We can change the color of our tablet. Anything you want can be done, as long as it's given that it's an item. Time in a bottle, we can change the color of that. You can change the color of your tablet, if you want. You can't change the color of chests. Like I said, any block or tile entity you can't change. But yeah, it's really cool. But you can change this, but this just doesn't reflect on the armor, unfortunately. But it does on the Britannia stuff, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool. So take a look at that. So yeah, I do recommend that. I think if you shift-click on here... Okay, so that mod's not installed, so you can't shift-click your armor, unfortunately. Bummer. Maybe if you had it under redstone. I don't know. This is the vanilla plain one, so... Anyways, I just wanted to show that off. I thought that's a pretty neat item. Not a lot of people know about it from random things. And it can be useful. It's very fun on servers. But look at that. That's Britannia armor, and it's red. And you can do this with most of the armors. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. We are about to hit 100,000 subscribers. I am super excited, and you guys are definitely a part of that. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.